Okay, so our first article is from Search Engine Journal, what Google's enhanced autocomplete box means for SEO. So here's a bit of our take on that.
SEO considerations for Google's new autocomplete feature. Today we're highlighting a piece by Kristopher Jones over at Search Engine Journal about Google's testing of a new autocomplete feature on its search page. The article, What Google's Enhanced Autocomplete Box Means for SEO, discusses the presentation of additional results, including People Also Ask and People Also Search. Many SEO professionals probably noticed the new feature and believe they know what Google is up to. There's a way that SEO experts can leverage the enhanced autocomplete to perform keyword research and topic research. Kristopher Jones. Here are a few of the big takeaways. Clicking back in the search bar after an initial query reveals a larger autocomplete box with People Also Ask and People Also Search, providing topics directly related to your initial search. The included PAA and PAS topics provide a wealth of information for SEO engineers to research how certain terms perform so that adjustments can be made to improve search results. The autocomplete enhancements tell marketers a wealth of information in terms of topic research and gathering insights into how a general user finds things through Google search. Managing a publisher website's SEO can be a tricky endeavor, which is why all websites hosted by our hometown include a sophisticated SEO dashboard allowing for extensive control of how site content appears in search results.
That is interesting. So basically reverse engineering how the Google algorithm works by using this People Also Ask.
This is certainly in beta test since December. And so when I went and checked it, it doesn't quite behave exactly like some of the results seen here in the original article. This is what the screen cap looks like. So I actually just brought this up. So just to kind of show you what we're talking about first is what this actually looks like. So once again, I'll do one of my famous Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Not even news, just Rochester, New York. I'm not going to click on any of the suggested things because this is an autocomplete that's already existed. So if I hit enter and get the normal search results page, which is just the organic thing, if I go back and click in the search bar again, look at the difference. They're now including local institutional things as people also search for. The one thing that I'm not seeing is people also ask for. So the PAA is not in this interface like it was mentioned in the source article, but the people also search for.
Well, can you type a question? People also ask. Maybe that's where it
What is the best gym in Rochester, New York? Okay, and so this is just the organic search. That's the one that comes up first, the one we're used to. And if I click back in, we don't get maybe it's too specific or something. That's one of the things that they were saying over here. Google's pulling the top 3 People Also Ask questions and People Also Search. Right now, it looks like it's only pulling, at least for my searches, the People Also Search.
Right.
And then, of course, the normal related terms that are actually in the pull down.
Let's try to do an example for like a real newspaper that we work with and just see.
Well, one of mine is Gulf Breeze. So News Pensacola.
Right.
And
so
I'll
this
even
is
put
exactly a step-by-step exercise that each paper can do. They search news in their city.
So we've got the social carousel that we pointed out before. That's here. And then looks like a TV station. And I'm just scrolling down because Gulf Breeze is our paper down there.
Right.
And they're not showing up in this version. So let me go back in here. Let me just get rid of the news again. And if I just do an organic search on Pensacola. Okay, here you go. Well, now we've got it. All right.
So that didn't come up before when you did news?
Yeah, it didn't have the People Also Ask. So this one's got the ask on there. Even though I just did Rochester, New York versus Pensacola, Florida, this one actually has, and maybe it's just because it's a more popular, Pensacola as a beach destination and all that. And so you've got Destin, Pensacola Beach. And then you've got Southwest Airlines, because Google's thinking if you're doing a search for Pensacola, Florida, you might be thinking of flying there. And it just builds upon this related terms thing.
Well, the terms. Okay. So I guess the idea is that search term is something that the newspaper would make sense for them to come up there, right? Just searching for the town. So you could look for these terms and then just focus more on this type of content, like weather. This is a reason to have a weather widget on your site. Is that the idea? Discuss things to do in Pensacola. So, maybe have a
Yeah,
whole
let me flip back
category.
over to the article. And so this,
Yeah.
once they get through kind of what the function is and what it's kind of displaying, the next section is using the enhanced autocomplete box for
Right.
keyword and topic research.
Right.
And
right.
a big
What to cover.
Yeah, exactly. And a big one here is if you're a pizza, and this is, they don't go through, they go through a retail outlet
This is more
instead
for
of a
business SEO. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if someone's doing local news or things like that, it shows the difference between the autocomplete where it's got Domino's, Papa John's, these are like chains. Versus the organic results, which give you the map and where you can get pizza right now. So it's kind of differentiating between someone researching pizza as a concept versus someone researching pizza as nutrition, and how the SEO managers can then go in here and do keyword research and see, like, what do you have to put down, assuming that your SEO is good enough to get you to appear in a localized search, right? So that's one of the things is you got to get scraped, but then you can use this enhanced keyword search to kind of refine any other keywords that you might use in headlines, or as you said, more emphasis on a particular category of content that seems to draw more related, or also search for, also ask for types of things. Like up here in Rochester, a big one is, what's the latest snowfall total? That kind of thing. So if you're if you want to get listed in Rochester about some of those kind of things, like a business that does driveway, whatever, that's the kind of stuff that you'd want to make sure is added to your SEO stuff.
And I'm just doing a search here too, and everyone else on the call, why don't you try it for your area? Okay, see if you can get this working. But Chris, could you just go to Google one more time and just type in local news, Salt Lake City? And then you go up and click that search bar again. So this is the same list I get.
And what's interesting here is what happens when you follow these. If you follow the train, look what starts to happen. Because I just did Draper, Utah, which is a little smaller, and now I've got their Twitter carousel. So it's very, like I said, the coverage of this is introducing it as definitely a beta feature that they've just been testing, and the article just kind of covers like, oh, this offers some really interesting opportunities for SEO people for their research.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's always great to point out the countless tools Google has out there. They have like Google Trends that you can search, get a sense of what their data is showing and apply it to countless different situations, for marketing.
Yeah, here's another one. I just did Chapel Hill, another North Carolina, and it gives us the 3 top basketball schools right there. Seem to be, because that's something that area is known for. So of course that would come up in they also search. That's very interesting.
Right. Yeah. The other thing that I sometimes think about is, really just practically, how do I search for local news? It's usually like a specific thing, like, for the summer, wildfires sometimes popping up. So searching for things like that. What other things do you guys search for in your day-to-day when looking for local news? Can we identify some use cases that we can just run through a case study of how to reverse engineer that? You know what I mean?
I look for weather
local
or
sports, maybe. Yeah, local weather.
Local government.
I was going to say local high school sports.
Yeah, I just searched that. If you're looking for ideas on different headlines, you can try multiple different headlines based on what people are searching for, creating a new category. I'm just thinking, like, what's the most practical way to apply this information? The quickest way that an actual newspaper could use autocomplete to drive more traffic.
Doesn't Port A don't they have a tides chart?
That's a great example of just like something that I never would have thought of, but just as a user in each community. Yeah, it's simple. As a publisher, though, you need to think of yourself as a user. What are the things that people are searching for? Do it in Google and look at, the other things that are recommended, the different things that it's called or that people are calling it when they're looking for it, and then work that into the language and articles.
I did a search for my school. And what are the things that people really want to know about it? Is it hard to get into? What's its ranking and what's it known for? But this, once again, is like a competing institution. It is an interesting thing of trying to find out how to get your coverage Like if you were doing an expose on Eastman School of Music or something, it might be interesting to include, maybe there's a subsection on the alumni majors, some of these things that actually pop up that would get the scraper to pick you up.
That's a pretty solid example right there. You're trying to promote a local business in a sponsored post or something. What kind of things are people searching for right now? If Google's recommending it, it's because they recommended it in the past and the person clicked on it. And then it has this positive feedback loop. And, that's all the machine learning that's going on in the background. So yeah, this is a very creative way to improve SEO and drive traffic using, just freely available tools on Google.
Well, and I think you can also do a little bit of browser bashing where you go to a site and you can basically look and see what their SEO backend looks like as it's delivered on the HTML. Technically you could see what they're doing. And then once you do a related search like this and you find out who's popping up really high, you do a little extra digging to see out maybe why.
Thanks for watching Today in News Tech, the podcast covering innovation in digital journalism. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast apps. We'll see you tomorrow.
At our hometown, we help newspapers build WordPress websites, design native apps, and develop digital subscription models. If you are interested in a free prototype of your publication on WordPress, go to ourhometown.com and click the Contact Us button.